Have you ever gotten stuck trying to learn a solo to a song? This can be discouraging and demotivating. You start out learning the first few licks, you feel inspired, but then you hit a wall. This has happened to me a ton of times, and it happens to me in other things too, like for example, maybe reading a book. You start out, you're all inspired, but then for whatever reason on page 237, you can't go on. And then every time I walk by that book and see it, I'm reminded, my heart sinks. And for some reason, you just can't seem to get past it. Now, maybe you heard some hotshot guitarists say, well, if you want to learn lead guitar, the best way to do it is to learn solos. Now, this isn't bad advice. I actually agree with it, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 reasons why guitarists get stuck learning solos. And the first one is that they lack the ability to be able to pick out the notes by ear. So they're trying to learn this solo, but they're not sure what exactly is really happening step by step. Now they might get a tab and they can follow along starting with the tab, but really at the end of the day, you have to put the two together, right? Like you have to be able to take whatever's on that page and make it sound like the recording. And a lot of this requires training your ears. And it's a process that takes time. And you want to make sure you do it in the right order. This is something that I figured out years later. I didn't realize that just like hunting and pecking for the notes on my guitar was not actually ear training. It wasn't training my ears, meaning like every time I went to go start a new solo, I was back at ground zero again, trying to find the notes, trying to hear what was happening. Now, the second problem students face is they pick solos that are just way too hard. I can't tell you how many times I've received emails or talked to in-person students over the years, and they say things like, John, I've been playing guitar for about a year and I want to start working on my lead playing, so I figured I'd start with Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson. Or they pick some crazy Stevie Ray Vaughan solo or the Crossroads solo, the live version Eric Clapton played. And this is like saying I've never been to the gym or I've never bench pressed before and I'm just going to go in and try and bench press 500 pounds on my first go. And, if you did this in that analogy, like with weights, people would literally just be crushed and be killed immediately. Like the bar would just fall on them and they would die. Or let's say it was skiing. Someone said, well, I want to work on, learning how to ski, so let me just go to a double black diamond and give it a go. This is going to result in them just like tumbling down the hill in an avalanche. They're going to be dead at the bottom. With guitar, though, the consequences aren't as bad. Players just get frustrated and give up. Or they say things like, well, I guess I just don't have the natural talent. That's number 2. The third reason is that it takes too long. And this is true, even once you get a few solos under your belt, it's easy to feel like, well, you've learned the first, 20 seconds of this solo, but I've got another minute and a half of it to go. Or maybe it's like a 4-minute, 5-minute solo at the end of a song or something that just feels like this insurmountable mountain. And this is assuming that players have gotten the other steps right, like they have a good tab, or maybe they can figure it out by ear. It still can feel like a lot. Now, what's happened with me a lot of times, I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of solos that I've broken down note for note on YouTube. In fact, I even had a series early on when I first started YouTube called Inside the Solo, where I would just break down, I think I did like over 100 solos, and I've done thousands of solos, years before I even went online, or just ones that I didn't even make videos of. Those are ones that I've just made videos of. And I might learn an entire solo, but then only come away with 2 or 3 good licks, or licks that I really enjoyed, and they became a part of my playing. They sort of just soaked into the DNA of what I play from, and then when you go to solo, you can use those licks. And so this is the approach that I recommend for guitarists, is to build up their bag of licks, and this works as like an antidote to getting stuck with trying to learn entire solos. It's great to learn entire solos, but you don't have to do it. And again, like I said, sometimes I just take away 1 or 2 licks. It's sort of like reading a book. You might read a book that has a ton of new words in it, and you walk away with like 2 or 3 new ones that become a part of your vocabulary. And if you've struggled with this, then go to johnmclennan.com/blues-scales and get your hands on my free blues scale PDF guide. This is going to show you the easiest and fastest ways to start playing the blues scale up and down the neck. And once you know this and you internalize these notes, then you'll be able to come up with your own licks and solos that could be a part of your own style. And using the scale, you're going to know what notes sound good and what notes fit the key. And this is what all the great blues masters did. Whether it was Jimi Hendrix, B.B. King, or Eric Clapton, or rock players. Just go to johnmclennan.com/blues-scales and grab that now as my gift to you. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you might like this one next.